Hi, my name is Stephanie. I also go by Ninth Steph online, and I have been a professional tattoo artist for about 13 years. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how to cultivate a career being a self-employed artist. A few things that artists who are aspiring to make a career out of this might not want to hear. So nowadays, when it's super expensive just to keep yourself alive, it's easy to want to find a cheat code for any sort of career, right? We all want some sort of like get rich quick scheme. And if we can get rich quick while we're doing what we love, even better. So while I don't know anything about being an Instagram model or how to contour face or how to be a live streamer, Twitch game person, what I do know is art. And I figured I'd share some of my knowledge with you today. For around 13 years, I have been able to support myself as a full-time artist. In all that time, I've never had to get a secondary job. I will mention I do, along with tattoos, I do commissioned art pieces as well as custom clothing and commissioned pieces of clothing. But I did make a promise to myself that no matter what, I would never take on a job if it's not helping me grow in some type of way as an artist. I mean, if it really came down to it, like obviously I'm gonna bite the bullet and drive for Amazon or whatever I have to do, but ultimately my goal is to always find a way to support myself through art. So with the growing popularity of tattoos in pop culture today, there has been an enormous spike in tattooers and people who want to tattoo. Our main social media platform is Instagram, since it's easy to sort of build a visual portfolio on there. There's a rising number of artists on Instagram with accounts with tens of thousands of followers and books closed in the bio and all kinds of images of them traveling all around the world to do their work. And it looks amazing. That's the magic of Instagram. Everybody's lives look amazing. And it is amazing. I won't lie. Like, I love my career. It's important to remember that Instagram does show us all of the highlights. We all know that, but I think sometimes while we're scrolling, our brains sort of forget it. A lot of people have come to me expecting to do an apprenticeship and then just be rolling in the dough overnight or living this like rock star life. And the truth is, I didn't even develop a real brand until about 8 years in or so. I began tattooing, doing every single style, whatever was required of me because I needed to pay the bills. And now I'm not saying that that is 100% going to be the case nowadays because things change, this industry evolves. But I was also willing to do what was asked of me to build this dream. So I'm going to talk about a few different things that I think are important to have if you would like to pursue a career in the arts. Number one, it takes an open mind. You don't know everything. And I'm not trying to be condescending. I have to tell myself that a lot. I will say it's gotten easier through my 30s. But listen and learn to those around you who have experience in the field that you are aspiring to join. It's super common for young people to just dismiss the ramblings of old timers. And I say that having been a young person myself. It's important to take in all the information anyone is willing to give you. And that doesn't mean that it's all correct. You need to use your critical thinking skills to figure out what serves you and what doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's always good to have more information than not enough. Learn from other people's experiences. You're going to learn from your own too, but having their stories in the vault, so to speak, having them there is also very beneficial. Number two, it takes sacrifice. And I'm not saying you have to starve for weeks or like, only eat ramen noodles or whatever. But you have to go into it knowing that you're not necessarily going to be able to maintain your current lifestyle. Let's say you are trying to apprentice in the tattoo field. As an example, when I began apprenticing when I was 21, obviously I wasn't rolling in the dough. I didn't have someone supporting me financially, which if you do have like a partner that will help you out, or if you have like saved up resources or something, amazing. But still, you want to keep in mind that you may want to readjust your budget as well as your time budget, because you're going to be expected to be at the shop for X amount of time to get whatever needs to get done. On top of that, you're going to have like drawing homework assignments. A lot of people don't realize this, but when you apprentice to be a tattoo artist, there's generally a period before you pick up your first machine. You have to learn the fundamentals of drawing, a lot of stuff like that. When I was 21, I began my apprenticeship with 2 restaurant jobs as well as the apprenticeship. Eventually, I dropped one of the jobs, so it was just 1 restaurant job and the apprenticeship. But it was still a lot of juggling and a lot of meals. I would just buy like bulk rice, bulk beans, cook that, like tortillas. And I feel like, especially when you're younger, your body can take like lack of nutrition, I guess. So I had to sacrifice a little bit of my lifestyle. I wasn't going out all the time. Any unnecessary expenditures were, off the table. Aside from just the budget thing and my schedule changing, I had to relinquish my ego. Again, this goes back to you not knowing everything, right? I had taken a lot of art classes. I had learned a lot of things in my 20 years, but I was open-minded enough to relearn fundamentals, things that I thought I already knew. Even if I did already know how to do them in a certain way, I still listened to my mentors and, shading spheres and cylinders. It's like drawing 101, but go back and do it. If that's what they ask of you, go back and do it. You don't know everything. And having practice is never a bad thing. Like, you're never going to shoot yourself in the foot by practicing too much. So one other thing that's extremely important to remember if you are going into the tattoo industry and you are seeking out an apprenticeship from a proper mentor or mentors, especially if you are not paying for the apprenticeship, you need to understand that these people are basically going to be raising you. I mean, obviously not like raising a child, but they're going to be taking a lot out of their time and their lives to teaching you a craft that is, for a lot of us, very sacred. So keep that in mind. It's important to acknowledge that you, in turn, for this information, you in turn owe them your hard work and loyalty. Number 3, with the digital revolution, it's now more important than ever to stay on top of the ball with developments in technology and trends in marketing. 10 years ago, I never would have thought that I'd be like constantly having to come up with skits and like make these little videos to promote myself. Here's the thing. I enjoy being creative. It does get a little bit daunting sometimes when you feel like you have to keep up on this maintained schedule of like, okay, post this day, post this day, post this day. But if you organize a way to do it for yourself, it's a little bit less intimidating. I hear tattooers all the time, and I've been caught myself complaining about it. Like, I just want to tattoo. I don't want to do all this extra stuff. The truth is, long gone are the days of people just walking into tattoo shops and picking flash off the wall and just accepting whichever artist is available at the moment. I'm not saying walk-ins don't exist anymore. They do in certain parts of the city, but in Denver, where I live, there are so many tattoo shops, and the majority of us aren't getting those walk-ins. The long established ones are, but there's so many of us that depend so heavily on the word of mouth and the internet for marketing. So whether you like it or not, this is the new norm. So instead of just sort of getting what you get like you did back in the day, people can go online and shop for all sorts of artists that have all sorts of different styles, and they can find an aesthetic that they identify with. It's very important to have an online presence. On top of that, it's important nowadays that you demonstrate who you are as a person so that people are going to feel comfortable coming to you and they're going to be able to relate to you, or at the very least not feel like you're like you're a super scary tattoo artist. We all just want to spend time around people that are easy to talk to. Bedside manner has really grown to be an important part of this industry as well. Just because we want to reject this new wave of digital marketing, it doesn't mean it's going to go away, and it's going to behoove you way more to just keep up with the times. It's always going to change. I mean, I don't like the idea of people using AI generated art for album artwork and stuff like that, but it doesn't stop it from happening. So we just have to accept things. Number 4, and the most important thing, and I have to tell myself this constantly in every area of life, this is important. It takes patience. I don't care what catchy title a thumbnail on YouTube has, or whatever like ad pops up in your Instagram that's like, you can get 10,000 followers in a week, or like, you know, I made 10K selling coloring books on Amazon, whatever. I mean, I'm sure that's possible, but nothing good comes that easily. We all know this deep down. We want to believe it, but we all know the reality is Rome wasn't built in a day. Keep in mind, everyone is just trying to hustle. Everyone is just trying to make money. That doesn't mean they have bad intentions. But there's a reason that YouTube videos all have sensational titles like learn how to paint in 5 minutes. People are going to click on that. People are going to click on things that promise you can make $20,000 in a month by making notebooks or whatever. No one is 100% all the time. So just remember that all of those artists you look up to, they have their struggles too. And it took them time to build their empire. Another important part of that is in a career like being a self-employed artist, it's never going to be stable. It's always going to be a bumpy ride of ebbs and flows. Everyone's story is different, but in general, it's never going to be completely steady. There is a reason that so many people give up their dreams of being rock stars or of being artists to take 9-to-5 jobs that are stable and provide benefits. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you want this amazing life where you're setting your own schedule, you're just making art every day, you're making music every day, whatever, what have you, keep in mind it is, you know, going to be kind of bumpy going sometimes, and make sure you have like a default plan for your mental health of what you're going to do during those times. Also financially, you want to, you know, have some sort of nest egg. I personally, though, believe with drive and hustle, confidence, if you really believe in yourself, it's totally attainable to have a career in art, music, whatever, or just to be self-employed in general. An important part also is to be grateful for those obstacles that are thrown in your path, because they make us grow so much stronger. Your story would be so boring without any sort of villain or obstacle. So be grateful for those and learn from them and enjoy the journey. It's cliche, but life is the journey, man. It's not just the end goal. This is how we grow. This is how we build character. So to end this video, I will say making money doing what we love is one of the greatest accomplishments we can ever achieve. There may be a lot of downtime waiting for lightning to strike, but with perseverance, it's attainable. I think I'll leave you with this. Just remember that this world owes us nothing, okay? Anything we truly want is worth fighting for. Bye.